Hey friends, welcome to the Fun Health Podcast with Dr. Gold. I have a special guest who is really truly an angel.
Oh, thank you.
I met her at TEDx in St. Leo University. She's a student and just has so many gifts and so wise for her age. So
Thank you.
just feel blessed to know her. So this is Angelique Cauterucci. She is a sophomore at St. Leo University where she's pursuing a 3+1 MBA in marketing. She'll tell me hopefully about that. What is that? She's a dedicated student, athlete, and serves as captain of the university's NCAA Acrobatics and Tumbling team. Angelique is also the founder of Redefine Beauty, a nonprofit organization focused on empowering young people to build confidence and embrace a positive body image.
Yes.
So needed. Through her speaking engagements and outreach, she has impacted over 8,500 students in person and reached more than 80,000 individuals online through her social media platforms. That's why I want you here. I want to hear your secret.
Thank you.
She's also the host of the Redefine Beauty podcast, where she shares messages of self-worth, resilience, and personal growth. Passionate about helping others recognize their value, Angelique continues to use her voice and platform to inspire individuals to define their own story.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so thankful that we got to connect at TEDx.
Me too.
And she is also on my podcast, so later you'll hear more about that.
I would love that. Yeah, I would love to just continue our connection.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we met just about a month ago now, and it's just wonderful. It's blossoming, so just like a little seed we're planting.
Yes, exactly.
I just want to help others. That's the most important part.
Yes.
You're just helping so many women learn.
Thank you.
And I think men too, because we think of people in sports
Yes.
just defining their body. Well, why don't you start and tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are today, and what lights you up right now.
So, as she said, I go to St. Leo University, where that is around Tampa, Florida, and I'm originally from New Jersey. Mm-hmm. So growing up, I did USA Gymnastics, and now I do acrobatics and tumbling in college at St. Leo, nice. Which is with the NCAA. It's a new emerging sport. And what lights me up right now is definitely that, because going into college, that was a new perspective and something new for me. And I was a little scared at first, like anybody would be, but I wanted to try something new. And I fell in love with the sport, and currently my team is ranked 9th in the whole country from Division 1 all the way to Division 3. Awesome. So I'm so thankful. And then next week we ended up getting in the finals for individual finals.
High five.
So thank you. So we are heading to California next weekend, and I'm very excited for that, because one of the events that we are doing, what we got qualified for, has never been done before for St. Leo.
Oh, wow.
So going there, making history, that's amazing for St. Leo, and such an accomplishment, because that's what we want, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity. That's awesome. And recently, I was just on TEDx. That was another dream of mine. Yes,
she did amazing. Thank you. She did amazing.
Yeah, I had that dream for so long, and because I started my nonprofit organization when I was 15 years old, and for a dream, because now I'm 19 years old, so 4 years in the making, I've always wanted to be on TEDx. So having that opportunity was just so surreal, and I'm so thankful that I got it, and it's only up from here, so I'm so excited.
Yay. Yeah, I just see glorious things for you. So
thank you.
Just remember me when.
No, stop.
She's amazing. She's amazing. So what I was thinking, we can start with just, you can share your image about body image. You shared your story in TEDx on what they did, your earlier gymnastics coaches.
Yes.
And also, if you can just differentiate gymnastics versus acrobatics and tumbling, the difference, and how you even got into tumbling and acrobatics.
I was a gymnast since I was 6 years old, and for the longest time, I wanted to be on the Olympics. That was the big thing for me. Right. And I said, how am I going to get there? When I was 9 years old, and this is the story that started my nonprofit organization, I tried out for the USA Gymnastics team.
Oh, wow.
And they told me that I was 10 pounds over their weight limit. And from that moment, when you're 9 years old, you don't understand weight limits, you don't understand what's going on.
Right.
But what I did understand was my body wasn't good enough. And I was left with two things that technically three. I could have lost the weight for them, or I could have given up on my dream, or I could have found another way. And that's exactly what I did. So for the whole year after that, I proved them wrong. I got so many skills, and I was on the sideline. I trained almost 2 hours more than every other girl on the team. I stayed after, and I worked so hard because I wanted them to see me. Yeah. And you can't say no to someone that is that persistent, right? You can't. And they finally gave me that opportunity a year later. And I was on the Junior Olympic team for New Jersey for 7 years. And when the pandemic hit, a lot of people don't realize when, I got on the team, that was my dream. But the body pressures were still there, and they were getting worse because I was getting older. And I hit puberty first before all of the girls on my team. So I hit that when I was 11 years old. And usually when you're a gymnast, you hit that when you're around 16, very late. And that really didn't help me because I had to get weighed each week. I was put on different diets, and I just started really disliking myself because all the meets that I went to, I was looking at all the girls around me, seeing that I didn't look like any of them. So should I even be here to begin with? Maybe I should just give up on this sport and this dream. But I always knew that I had it in me. I always knew I was a good gymnast, but I just didn't think my body was good enough. So during the pandemic, I was left with all those thoughts. And because of that, I fell into an eating disorder because I couldn't do gymnastics. I couldn't do the thing that I loved. I was just with myself, and I ended up losing over 45 pounds in the span of 2 months. And again, a teenager going through that, I really didn't understand what was going on. And from it all, I realized that in the span of going back into gymnastics that year later, those same coaches were now telling me my body was the best it's ever looked. And when you're a teenager, you believe that. So I kept trying not to eat. I kept trying to lose weight because I was becoming a better gymnast, but inside I was so mentally drained. I was exhausted, and I was in so much pain physically because I wasn't eating. What I say a lot now is food is fuel. If you don't have food in you, you're not going to perform your best and be your best. And that's exactly what happened to me. And a few months later, after coming back from the pandemic, I ended up falling. When I came back 2 months later, going into after the pandemic, I ended up tearing my shoulder out of the socket. And because of that, I ended up getting nerve damage from it. And I was left with the thought of, do I give up on my dream, or do I keep pushing past it? Because that's what my coach wanted me to do, keep pushing. And I ended up doing that. I ended up finishing my junior year season because I wanted to try to be a college gymnast. That was the goal. I was putting so much work in my whole life just for nothing. That's what I kept saying, just for nothing. It doesn't make any sense to me. And after that season was over, I ended up going to the doctors, and they told me that I had to take a year off of gymnastics if I wanted my shoulder to get better. And I was left with that thought of, what am I supposed to do now? Because that's when the recruiting process is happening, and nobody would want a girl that is going to be out a whole year. And I was left with the question of, who am I if I'm not a gymnast? And I've never had that thought go in my head before, because I did 24 hours a week of gymnastics since I was 6 years old all the way to 16. And from that whole shift, I realized that I'm so much more than a girl that can do flips. Yes, thank you. I love that. And that's why I ended up starting my nonprofit organization, because it shows that you can be so much more, and you can accomplish your goals, and you don't have to realize, like, you don't have to listen to the people next to you or in front of you, because there's always going to be someone out there that doesn't believe in your goals, and there is, but it's up to you to prove them wrong. And that's what I did, and I found out that I truly didn't love gymnastics as I used to. It was so hard in my childhood, and I'm honestly still unpacking it because it was not that long ago. And then I found out about this new sport called acrobatics and tumbling, and that's where that comes in, and that's what I'm doing in college now. And it's a mix of gymnastics, contortion, and cheerleading all combined. And something that I picked up during the pandemic was contortion, because there was nothing else to do, and I was like, all right, let's try to bend my body in weird ways, because I can't do flips really because I don't have the gear and the stuff to do it. So that's what I picked up, and when I heard about this sport, I said, like, these are all things that I would love to do, why not try it out?
Right.
And I ended up finding St. Leo. This is the only school in Florida that does acro. And I knew I always wanted to go to school in Tampa, Florida, because I have a lot of family here as well. So I was so thankful for that opportunity. And it was so different. And I knew that I really had to turn that page to start growing. And I'm so glad that I did.
Awesome.
Thank
you
you
so much for sharing that.
Of course, I know it's a very long story.
No, but it's so powerful. And you're just really giving hope to so many girls, so many women, young women who are going through this struggle. Because I know body image even now.
Yes.
Just even getting ready for this interview. What do I do with my hair or makeup, or what should I wear? And so, we can be so caught up in who am I and defining it by a degree or how much money we have in the bank account, our worth. And I'm recognizing that we're all children from our Creator.
Yes.
We're all blessed. You think of a baby, do they have to earn their worth?
No, exactly.
So I'm practicing too, but thank you for
Have those positive affirmations you tell yourself every day.
Yes. And I have been actually practicing that a lot. I grew up in an era where I didn't see anybody who looked like me either, and it felt very jarring on my body. Just, am I ugly, or am I, I used to get made fun of the way I looked or my hair and stuff. And I just realized now I am beautiful, I'm lovely, and so are you. So if you're watching this, you are beautiful, you are amazing. Don't let other people define that for you or society. Okay, so we talked about a little bit about you right now and how you got into the gymnastics. Thank you again. That was such a powerful story. It really does resonate with me. And then just the idea of the coaches saying that you were not the right size or too big for what they were looking for. So with the pressures right now, I know that you had that injury. So if you can share, like, how is it now as you're practicing your sport in tumbling and acrobatics? How are you managing and dealing with that? With your, is it injury coming to play, or you don't feel it anymore, or what's going on there? And
so sadly, I do still feel it, and it is honestly the same as it used to be, because I am thankful that it can't get worse. So that's good. I'm honestly getting used to it now because it's been a little time. But I'm thankful at St. Leo University, the trainers really help me. So I get physical therapy and I get treatment done every day. So if anybody listening or know anything of cupping, and that's something that helps me, massages, I get scraping, so that's when they take a metal rod and they scrape all of the knots and everything that are getting caught up with the nerve. So all those things do help me, and I'm so glad that I honestly get all of that for free because of being on the team. So I'm thankful for that. They really do take good care of me, because the main thing that I do in acro and tumbling right now is I do handstands on top of people. And that is the main thing that I do, and it's crazy. But you would say, can she do that with her shoulder injury? It's a lot of strength. We do a lot of weight training, and I love it so much, and I know the pain is still sometimes there, but I'm so glad that I have the physical therapy, and I have so many things that could help me every day to get through that practice and to eventually become without that pain anymore.
Yeah. How do you shift mentally the perspective with the pain? Like you're feeling it, you're getting the cupping that's helping, but how do you shift perspective to keep going and maybe help our audience if they're dealing with something right now?
When you love something, that's the first thing that comes to mind, right? And coming onto the team as a sophomore now this year and being a team captain, which I was very thankful for because, again, this is my second year. I didn't think that was even going to be a possibility, but I was very thankful for that. And one of the reasons why my coach told me that I was a captain is because of how I can turn things around in such a positive way. And it's hard. We have a team of 45 girls. And that is hard. College girls all together, you really have to have that positivity all the time. So whenever I am in pain, I try to shift it. And I tell myself, I am so grateful and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to have these spots and to be here on the mat today.
Wow.
Because a year ago, or a couple months ago, or a couple years ago, I always wanted to be that NCAA athlete. That was the big goal. And I always wanted to be captain. I always wanted to do the skills that I'm doing now. And I'm finally having that. So saying that to myself and feeling grateful and being in the moment, living in the moment always helps me. That's something that I do before and tell myself right before I get onto the mat at a meet. I go on, so everyone's, cheering. They announce us. We go on the mat. And I tell myself, I'm doing this for my younger self. And I'm allowing myself to realize, to get all of that fear out of my head. Because at the end of the day, everything is already going to happen in the universe. Everything's already set in stone. So there's no reason for you to be scared about what's going to happen next. So every time that I am feeling a little nervous, I go onto that mat and I tell myself, I got this. I can do this. And it's all about that repetition over and over again to say that to myself. And I'm not just doing it for my younger self, but all the girls that are watching in the audience. I'm thankful after my first meet this year because my role on the team was completely different from last year and this year. Last year, I came in and I wanted a lot of spots. I was open to try everything, but nobody told us as freshmen, you don't usually play. And I said, there has to be a way. There has to be a way that I'm going to play. There's no way.
I love it.
And I asked my coach that, and she said, the only way you could do that is if you beat out a senior.
Beat out a senior.
And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? There's no way that's going to happen. And I also came in thinking that I was not going to do any tumbling because I grew up in gymnastics and that was the thing I was around, and I said, I don't want to tumble anymore. That's just not my thing. I want to be a top. I want to do the handstands. But those are what the senior girls were doing. And there was no way that I could beat them out. So instead, I said, fine, I guess I'll go back to that tumbling. And as a freshman, I got to compete in 2 events for tumbling, which was amazing. Awesome. And then this year, coming into this year, the senior girls left, and I got to take over those roles. So it was completely different for me. Yes. Yay. Yeah, thank you. And it was completely different because I was not only doing skills that I've never done before, but they have never been done for St. Leo acrobatics and tumbling before. And that's why we're going to nationals for it, which is amazing, but it was so scary in that moment. And having young girls come up to me after my first meet saying, oh my gosh, I want to be just like you. I do dance, I do gymnastics right now. And I was like, that just truly shifted that for me, that I'm not just doing this for myself, but I'm doing it for my family, my team, and the young girls and the next generation watching.
Oh, that's powerful.
Thank you.
And I love that gratitude. It really, I know it saved me through so many tough times. Even when I'm supposed to give a talk and I'm like, it's not about me. It's the message.
Yes.
The message.
That's what I always say. I said that to myself before the TED Talk as well, that it's okay to be nervous.
Yeah.
And I told myself, but what I'm saying is very impactful.
Yeah.
And I have to do it. I have to say it. And I honestly was shy when I was younger. A lot of people don't think so, but I very much was. And what really shifted that for me was I do have a story to tell, and it wouldn't make any sense to keep it in, because there's so many other people that are going through the same thing.
Yeah. And I cried during her talk. I
Oh,
was just like,
thank you.
oh my God, I was just bawling. I was supposed to mic her up, and then the next person, I was like, oh. I was like, all right, get it together, get the next person ready. So I was like, it was so wonderful. I'm like, I need to have her on this podcast.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you. And then she invited me on
Yes,
hers. I just
I'm
felt
very
so blessed.
thankful for that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. But I was very shy. I grew up very shy. Even now, sometimes people are like, you're just shy, doctor.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I realize it's a message that gets me my voice.
Yes.
And yes, do I get nervous? Absolutely. Every
Who
time.
doesn't?
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah.
So I just think even if you're nervous, doing what you said, the impact, realizing you're reaching out to other people, and just the message, and knowing that you have the support from,
Yes.
that makes a huge difference too. Mm-hmm. So, well, what I wanted to, let's actually stand up for a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Usually during their podcast, I want people to get moving, grooving. If you're able to stand, we just want you to reach up, rise up spiritually, physically if possible, and then just reach all the way over to one side. I'm reaching all the way over to my right, just a nice deep stretch here. Relax your shoulders, open up the heart, big smile, bring in the joy, love, if that's comfortable for you. If you are going through some hardships, just bring in peace right now, bring in the breath, whatever works. Deep breath in, gently reaching back here, relax your neck and shoulders, relax your fingers, soften those knees, relax your toes, and then just gently reach up and over to the other side. So again, I'm reaching all the way over to my left now. Nice deep breath with soft knees here, releasing my hips, release my belly, gently coming back up, and gently relaxing my arms down, rolling the shoulders. Nice deep breath in. Good, a nice breath out, just gently turning the head all the way over to your left, and all the way over to your right. Oh, it feels so good. Little circles in the neck here, little circle rolls. There we go. Gently rolling out the neck here, roll out the head, just gently. And then the other way. Oh, it feels so good. And then I try to get my back here. A lot of my patients and yoga students, and if you're doing tumbling.
Oh, my back always hurts, so I get it.
So we're gonna just roll out those hips a little bit. Nice little circles to start. Relax those knees. So not a lot of weight or stiffness in those legs. Keep soft knees here, a little bend in the knees, and then roll the other way. Roll out those hips. Feels so good. Nice. And then just a little tuck of the pelvis. So we do a little cat-cow here where we just tuck the pelvic bone, release, and then release the hips back. So just gently inhale as you gaze up, stick the butt out just a little bit, and then tuck it down as you exhale. Let's do that just a few times at your own pace, inhaling, and exhaling, rounding and releasing the spine. Oh, feels good. And one of my favorites is called Kiss the Heavens.
Yeah.
Just mwah, mwah, and mwah. I'm kissing, giving you a big kiss too. Mwah, because you're amazing. Mwah, mwah. I'm giving you a big kiss. Mwah. And give yourself a nice big hug here. Remember to bring in the light every day, bring in the love. Just knowing that you, on your terms, are amazing just being here in this world. Mm-hmm. And let's have a seat. I just want to thank all the listeners for tuning in today.
Yes, thank you.
It wouldn't be possible without you, so thank you for being here. And feel free to always chime in. I'm happy to send questions to Angelique. In a moment, we'll share how you can get a hold of her, but any questions for me as well, always appreciate that. And like and subscribe. It helps us just to get the word out, and we appreciate that too. All right, so where I'm at now is, how do you begin to rebuild your relationship with your body? Yeah.
Hey, that's a hard question, and I'm still going through it all the time. And one thing, right when I knew I wanted to do acrobatics and tumbling in college, I was talking to a lot of different coaches. I had over 25 different recruit calls.
Wow.
And I was going all across the country because I didn't really know where I wanted to go to school.
Right.
And I was looking into all the different programs and everything. And one thing that I told myself, because of that relationship that I had with my body that was not good a few years before, I said going into college, there was just two things I knew I was going to say no to for that college. And one of them was really, sorry. One of them was being on a weight limit and being weighed, because that was something that I grew up with in gymnastics, and I knew that I was not going to put myself through that again. And then the second thing that goes along with that is, honestly, it's practically the same thing, what I'm eating, and really putting it all on a different sheet, because that's what it was for gymnastics growing up. You had to count your calories and you had to get weighed, and I knew that I was not going to count my calories anymore, because I know myself. I know if I count my calories or if I look at myself on the scale, I'm going to go downhill. I just know that. And I'm so glad that I know that about myself now, so I don't try and do that again. So those are two things that really helped me, and that's one of the reasons why I picked St. Leo, because my coach is big on mental health. And I'm very glad about that, because she actually helped turn my nonprofit organization into a chapter at my university. So now we just had our second big mental health awareness walk a few weeks ago. And I was very thankful for that, because there was over 350 students that got to come, and we made over 1,000 affirmation cards to give back to different elementary schools across New Jersey. So I'm very thankful for that. But those are the two things really from college, going to college, and why I picked St. Leo, one of the big reasons. And then every day with myself, I honestly eat the same thing every day. And the reason being is because I had a lot of stomach problems coming off of my eating disorder. And a lot of people don't realize is when you don't eat for a very long time, your stomach starts to change. And that's exactly what happened to me. Going back from not eating at all, it was really bad with dairy and really bad with gluten. And for a long time, I was practically lactose intolerant and gluten-free. So honestly, you're probably like, that is really depressing. And it was, because what was I eating? I was just eating chicken and rice and vegetables every day, and that was it. So thankfully, my stomach is now getting better, but that's one of the things that I share on my school tours too, because a lot of students don't realize that when, starving yourself is not okay. That is not good for you, and it will really affect your body in the long term. And sadly, that's what happened, and honestly, I'm still suffering from it now, 4 years later. And from it all, really telling myself those positive affirmations every day helps me a lot. Journaling, and allowing myself to realize that I am not supposed to look like the person next to me. My body is completely different from them. And even growing up and now in a sport that your body is your fuel, you're getting judged on the skills that you can do with your body, how strong you are. That's what I tell myself all the time, how strong I am. I want to be the strongest version of myself in all the different ways, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And that's what I keep pushing and striving for. And that's why later in life, I want to open an all-women's gym to promote that physical, mental, and emotional mindset. And I'm very excited for that, because that's a long-term goal, because I knew that's something that helped me. And I can't wait to do that in the future as well.
I'd love to work with you. Yes,
in a couple of years. Let me get my degree first.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. One step at a time. My next book is on the new strong. So it's all about empowering women physically, mentally, spiritually, and just how to get a strong physical body, but also emotional, the confidence to do this, and how it actually impacts longevity, your brain health, your bone health. It's so impactful, and your gut as well, and all our emotions that go around just being able to protect ourselves too. I did want to go back. You were mentioning the eating disorder.
Yes.
First of all, which, if you want to share the type of, but also how did you overcome that eating disorder?
I was suffering with anorexia because I did lose a lot of weight very fast. I was around 145 pounds, and I dropped to practically 100 pounds to 98 pounds. And I was a 14-year-old girl.
Wow.
So and I was already like 5'2". I already hit my growth spurt. I'm very short, okay? Now, sadly, I lost an inch. I don't know how. Now I'm 5'1". But
let's check your bone density. We should definitely talk about gut stuff.
Yes, but that is something that, sadly, it was anorexia what I suffered with.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things that went into it, but the first thing that really helped me was talking about it. And I was first afraid to talk to anybody about it, and the person that realized that I wasn't eating was my parents, because I was around them 24/7 because of the pandemic. And once I opened up about it, they ended up allowing me to go and see a therapist, which I was very thankful for.
Yeah.
And really talking about it, talking about honestly the trauma that I went through in gymnastics, and I didn't even realize any of it. I didn't realize that it wasn't okay. You're not supposed to get weighed. You're not supposed to be put on these different diets and everything. And I was like, what, really? Like, I really didn't know anything, because that's what I grew up around.
Right.
And for such a long time, I couldn't talk about that journey online because nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about how you were getting treated in USA Gymnastics, because aren't you just so thankful to be there, so thankful to have that opportunity? So now I'm so thankful that I get to talk about it, because that is what I went through, and that is what made me into the person I am today. And a lot of people always ask me, like, if you went back in time, would you change anything? And I would say no. I would go through everything that I went through, because I wouldn't have the platform, and I wouldn't have the voice that I do now, and I wouldn't have the purpose behind it all. Because every time I go to elementary school or on social media talking about it, or even a mental health walk, I have national partnerships with the National Eating Disorder Association and the National Alliance on Mental Health. So whenever I go to those mental health walks, there's so many students and children that come up to me and kind of tell me their stories and what they're suffering. And I tell myself, if I didn't ever go through any of that, I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't be able to help the next generation. And that's something that I always think about, because yes, it was very hard for me, but I'm past that now, and now I'm ready to help the people around me. But after going back to your original question, with therapy really helped me, and little things. So it was very hard for me, because I was also suffering with depression in that time, with that anorexia. I had to realize that there are so many positive things in life. So I started doing monthly goals for myself, and I still do them, even if they're tiny ones. So it would be going for walks or something. I was really bad with my sleep schedule. So for a whole year straight, every month I would go down to, like, let's say I used to go to bed at 1 a.m. So the next month it would be 12:55. Now, hey, it worked. It worked. And I would, at the end of the month, I would go back and check the ones that I fully accomplished and star the ones that I still need work on. And that's something that my therapist helps me with, and that's something also that I share on my social medias, because it takes 30 days to fully make a habit. So having that happen with me, that's something that allowed me to realize that there are so many things to be positive about at the end of the month. And a lot of people, yes, they do that going into the next year. Like, what are my New Year's, like, resolutions? But I do that for myself every month, and I've seen the growth. And that's something that really helps me realize that there are so many things to be positive about.
I love that. And honestly, it is baby steps.
Yes.
Even with health, I get so many patients say, doctor goals, I want to lose all this weight, or I want to have more energy and sleep better. And I'm like, well, let's start with something, right? And it might be, just like you said, a walk, or it might be a supplement or a gut test, because sometimes we need to reach out, find out what's the root cause of what's actually happening in your body, not just a pill for every ill, but figure out why something's happening, so that you can get better long term and feel better. So thank you for that. And I love the goals, because study after study, I actually got away from this, so you're motivating me to do this. But every month, I'm doing this daily now. I just started, but just to write down one impactful thing for you, not what other people want you to get done, but something that's really important for you, whether that's for sleep or connection, maybe reaching out to somebody you haven't spoken to, or getting that check mark off something you needed to make that phone call. It could be hard, it feels like daunting, but it's not the actual task. You just have to dial the numbers, but you haven't done it. You kept putting it off, putting it off. So just, writing down something you want to do. I do it the night before, so I have it for the next day.
Yes.
But I think I'm going to start to have the goals, and then the big part, like you said, is celebrating or checking in after of what you actually did, because that's huge. And I also limited my to-do list. My list used to be ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, I agree. I used to put so many things on my plate. Like, I was trying to be a part of so many different things, and I realized I can't give my 100%. Something that my coach actually told me in the start of the year. So I went into her office, and this was before I got named captain of my team, and she said, I just want you to know, we're going into the next year, you're going to have a lot of spots and a lot of responsibilities, because last year I was on the team not really doing a lot as that freshman, right, that role, and going into it, I didn't know what I was getting myself into this year at first. And she said, I just hope you know that I don't want you to put yourself in so many different things and be overwhelmed with it, and put a little bit, like she always said, like a little water in all these cups and never fill one. And I said, I know. I used to be that person, but I'm not that person anymore. And then a couple weeks later, she announced me as captain. I was like, oh, really? So now I had that too. So I was very thankful for that opportunity, and it really helped me to grow as a leader and just be more positive with the people around me too.
That's awesome. I'm looking for congratulations.
Thank
and good
you.
luck with everything. I want to hear the results, and if you have the video, maybe we can include that later with us. That'd be so wonderful. So we're going to be wrapping up, just a few more questions to finish up. But what would you say to a young athlete who's being told their body isn't good enough?
Whoever is telling you that, they are wrong, because there are a lot of studies that show that not one body type identifies you as that best athlete. Hey, if that happened to me, I wouldn't be the athlete that I am today. And that 10 pounds, or maybe you don't look a certain way or something like that, sometimes they're just telling you that to see if you're going to work harder. And that's what I keep telling myself too. And that's what I told myself in my younger self. Okay, they don't like me of what I look like and what my body looks like. Well, let me show them how good I am so they can't say no. And I even say that to myself now. Hey, that's what I did last year on the team to my coach. I said, okay, I need to beat out that senior. All right, like, I'm a freshman, that's fine. But if I had the skills to beat her out, you can't say no. And that's exactly what happened. So I kind of had, it was so weird, because as a gymnast, that happened to me, and even at the college level too. But honestly, and that's what my coach always tells me too, you need to have that dedication, you need to have that drive, because in life, there's a lot of people, not just athletes, and just in general, that people are going to say no to you. And it's how you come back from that. What are you going to do next? Are you going to give up from that dream? Or are you just going to show them why it should be you? Show them why you should get that raise, why you should get that job. And that's something that I love. I love that, I have a lot of passion on not even trying to be not better than people, but better than I was yesterday. And that's what I keep saying every day. What can I do tomorrow that will better myself from the person I was today?
I love that.
Thank you.
That. And I've heard NO also means never-ending opportunity.
I like that.
Forbes Riley mentions that, and
Good
it's
to know,
resonated with me a lot. Never-ending opportunity.
Yes.
So I love that. So just if you could finish the sentence, true beauty is?
Authentically you. I truly believe that everyone in this life is different, and you are not supposed to look like anybody else, and your path and your journey is not going to be the same as the people in the room with you, and that's okay. And that story is what makes you into that different person. And it's so amazing to share that story. And I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to share my story, not just here, but on social media and just with so many young people in the next generation, because that's what made me into the person I am today. And that's what I would definitely call true beauty and what you are as a person, because what you are on the outside does not define who you are. It's truly the person from within. And that's why going to college and meeting new people, I don't care what you look like from the outside at all. It doesn't matter to me. But how authentic are you? How real are you? How loyal are you? How beautiful are you from the inside? How dedicated you are. All these things, that's what I look for in a friend and in a person. And that's how I define beauty in other people too. Because that's what I want to be. I want to be the kindest person I can be. The most loyal, the most confident, the most positive, because that's how beauty looks like for me now.
Got it. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that too. And one word that describes you now, and also a mantra you live by.
I would say passionate. And I really realized this in acrobatics and tumbling this year. I want the best, not just for myself, but for my team and for everyone on that mat. And I want everyone to love it, and I want everyone to feel their best self. And that's what I do a lot with my nonprofit too, allowing you to realize that there's so many more positive things than negative. A little activity that I do with a lot of the elementary school students that I talk to is I give all of them a sheet of paper, and there's all different affirmations on it, and there's a cartoon printout. So they color it to make it look like them, and then they circle the words that define themselves with positive ways.
I love it.
And then they could always look back at it and see that there's more positive things than negative. Because that's something that helped me, not in elementary school, but that really helped me in high school and still in college now. I have those affirmations on my mirror, and I have them right when I wake up. And I even have an app on my phone that shows up every hour with a new affirmation.
Oh, I love it.
And that's called I Am. I love that app. You should definitely go and look into it because I love it so much. But that's an activity that I do with the students that I love. And that's something that I'm so passionate with because I want to help them become the best version of them.
Yay.
Yes.
I love that.
And then something that I go by, let's see. I would say what I said before of you have to be 1% better every day. And being that athlete, like I really had that athlete mindset, and that's just, who I am, but also turning that pain into purpose. Those are like my two, I would say that are my thing. But 1% better every day. Maybe 1% stronger or smarter or kinder. It doesn't have to be all three. It doesn't have to be all of them, but focus on one, because looking back at it from a month from now, from a year from now, I'm a completely different person because I'm better than I was a year ago or a couple years ago, because I want to keep growing. And that's the thing. Always keep growing, because you're never going to be maxed out with anything in life. And that's amazing because you can network, you can meet so many new people, you can keep growing, and that's something that I always tell myself.
I love that. And it's so true. I say the same thing with your health. It's not too late.
Yes.
I do get folks say, Dr. Gold, I'm this age, and there's no. I'm like, it's never too old. You're never too young either.
That's true.
To get started with your health, to feel good, to improve your gut, to improve your mental health, to improve kindness and love for yourself, for others, to do good things in the world. And do good things for your body. So even just one push-up, or you say, I can't do a push-up, one walk, one whatever you do, one stretch, one movement, every day it does. You can build up upon that. And I do get folks, they're doing wall push-ups or modifications or pulling a band, whatever you can do. Maybe start with a water bottle. They lift it up first and then gradually increase or use a rock, whatever you have, a can.
Yes.
But the nice part is your body, no end point to how healthy, how strong you can be too. So thank you for that. I felt like chills when you said that. I was like, that's what I say. So how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm big on social media, so always try and reach out because I will always answer on every platform. First, my website is youdefinebeauty.org. And then on Instagram, it is You Define Beauty Nonprofit. And then my main Instagram account is Angie, so that's Angie. And then my last name, Cauterucci, which is very Italian. So that is CAUTERUCCI. And then also my podcast, which I started when I was 15 years old, and I was very shy, so don't look that back onto those. But I am thankful that I got to have you on my podcast, and she's episode 28, so I'm very thankful for that. So go see that. That will be out next month, and that is You Define Beauty, and you can get that on Spotify, Apple Music, all the different places on where you can stream and get your podcast. Wonderful. And then the last thing would be TikTok, and that is also Angie Cauterucci. So that same thing with that positive affirmation and the positive content that I always put out. So reach out to me on any of them because I would definitely love to stay connected and have the opportunities because we can all grow together.
I know, that means a lot. I just want to thank you again so
much. Of course,
much.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you.
This is so fabulous from the bottom of my heart. And I know the listeners I got so many golden nuggets out of it. So thank you. So may I give you a hug?
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness. Such amazing.
Such amazing, beautiful. Thank you. Incredible.
Again, thank you all for joining in.
Yes, thank
tuning
you.
in for the Fun Health Podcast.
Yes, thank you so much.
And just please share your light, your blessings, anything you got out of this. We'd love to hear.
Yes.
And if you tune in, just let us know if any golden nuggets or things, gems, and also any takeaways or things that you want to share with us. We appreciate that. We learned so much from you as well. Mwah.
Thank you.
Take care.